Coming up, landing on a cargo ship, scoping out any engine problems, a full-motion heli sim, an explosive new aviation reality show, and an explosive lawsuit in Santa Monica. AOPA Live this week begins in just a moment. Unpleasant Halloween surprise in Santa Monica, California. Hello everyone and welcome to AOPA Live this week. I'm Tom Haynes. A lot of drama near Hollywood. The city of Santa Monica is suing the FAA. They filed the lawsuit in federal district court last week. The city claims that the airport was never federal property and therefore they can do what they want with it. What they want is to close it. But the FAA and AOPA vehemently disagree with the city's claim.
The city was given the airport back after the war by the War Assets Administration under surplus property conveyance and quitclaim deed. And that has covenants in it that says they have to operate an airport, the civil sponsor has to operate the airport as an airport in perpetuity.
AOPA has spent hundreds of hours working to keep Santa Monica Airport open. AOPA has researched the city's legal claims over the years and has actively participated in litigation and in the public forum to strike down the city's claims that the airport land is theirs to do with as they want.
There's a tremendous amount of money that's generated by the airport. And if that airport's not there, that money and that income is going to go away. And it's going to have to be made up in some other fashion. The economic impact study that was done as part of the visioning process 2 years ago indicated that the economic impact of Santa Monica Airport is well over $200 million per year. What's missing from this discussion locally, and especially in the local media, is the aviation and the tenant side of this argument. The folks that are against the airport are getting all the press, all the media, all the attention. They show up at city council meetings with 70, 80, or 90 people that are talking against the airport. In the aviation community, be it a business, be it an FBO, be it a base tenant, are missing a tremendous opportunity to carry the message about the value of the airport to the public. We're not engaged in the media efforts out there locally. AOPA is engaged in the media efforts where we can, but it's going to be more important for the local media, the Santa Monica Patch and the Mirror, to hear from local people and local stories than it is from us.
Santa Monica is home to some 270 aircraft. It was once the site of the Douglas Aircraft Factory. Well, the people who make today's airplanes have some good news to report. The General Aviation Manufacturers Association reports that aircraft shipments are up 6.8% in the third quarter compared to last year. The biggest growth, multi-engine turboprops. But even the piston aircraft aren't doing too bad. They're up nearly 8%. Have you ever wondered what was going on inside your engine? AOPA pilot editor-at-large Tom Horn did. He was concerned about the Sweepstakes Debonair, so he went to scope out any potential problems.
Ever since we bought the Sweepstakes Debonair in 2012, we wondered about the high iron in the oil analysis. Did this indicate corroded cylinders or unsafe valves or some sort of internal damage? That's why we're here today.
We took the airplane to Adrian Eichhorn, a first officer for JetBlue, an A&P and IA, and a respected Bonanza Baron Debonair expert. But his tool chest looks more like what you'd find in a doctor's office.
This is the HD surgical scope. This is actually the light source, the computer, and this is the recording device, so we can record everything onto a DVD or onto a memory stick.
We had him put his tools to use. The Debonair only had 140 hours since major overhaul when we bought it. But that was 5 years ago, meaning it only flew 28 hours a year. That's not good, as we discovered after our first oil change. The oil analysis came up with very high readings for iron. This is a sign that steel components were wearing. What could be causing this? The steel cylinders. Our worry was that the cylinder walls had rusted during that long sitting spell.
So we're going to do an ultrascope inspection of the cylinder, and to do that all I have to do is simply remove the top spark plugs, because that's our access port with the camera.
Adrian stuck the scope in, not knowing what we'd find.
Here's the barrel and the head, but yeah, there's your pitting from rust, okay? There's where your head and your barrel mate right there. So going all the way around the cylinder, I don't see anything in this cylinder here that really alarms me. So I can look down in here and we can see the guide. There's your guide, and the fact that there's a nice sharp line on that guide, see that? Yeah. That's also confirmation that the guide is not worn, because when the guide wears, oil will start to seep up there and you'll see oil on an angle on that. So the guide is good and the valve is good.
In the end, it was good news. We have a bit of pitting on the cylinder walls, but not enough to be a problem. The supercritical exhaust valves, no sign of corrosion.
So what do you think, Adrian?
Tom, I think the cylinders look a lot better than what I expected. There is pitting from rust from when the aircraft was sitting, but in my opinion, that's not a deal breaker. It's a concern. Would it be nice if they were shiny and brand new and had honing? Yes, but the weak link on these engines, what causes off-field landings and engine failures, are broken valves. Your valves are in excellent condition. If this were my airplane, I would not be reluctant to fly it across the ocean, based on what I've seen.
Still, we'll keep a close eye on the engine and make sure it's in great condition when you win it next year. Tom Horn, AOPA Live.
You think you know air shows? Think you do.
Hold on tight. Airboss is hitting Discovery International Channel this coming spring. The show is from the producers of The Aviators. It follows Wayne Boggs, who runs the air shows we all know and love. It tells the behind-the-scenes stories of air shows, the pilots that perform in them, and announcer Rob Ryder. Looks pretty cool, like a lot of fun. Coming up after the break, we'll check out the next sim up Redbird's sleeve. And you've always dreamed of making a carrier landing. One guy did it, sort of. You're watching AOPA Live this week. We've all thought about it. What would it be like to land on a carrier? Well, a Dutch microlight pilot did the next best thing. He landed a Foxbat on the deck of a cargo ship. Making this officially a batship crazy idea? Well, it took a couple of approaches. The final landing was a bit of a drop, but nevertheless, he did it. He even took back off again. You can read more about the feat on AOPA.org. Looking to start your holiday shopping early? Yeah, me neither. But anyhow, the AOPA Foundation has some pretty cool items and experiences they are auctioning off online. The big ticket this year? A Great Lakes biplane. You can also get a ride in a P-51D Mustang. See the whole listing at aopafoundation.org/auction. All proceeds help the foundation in their work protecting and promoting general aviation. And finally this week, we check out something coming down the pike from Redbird Flight Simulations. It's still in development, but the company hopes their full-motion helicopter sim will impact the rotary world. AOPA flight training editor Ian Twombly checked it out at Redbird Migration.
What we've developed here is less of a helicopter simulator and more of a helicopter trainer.
Redbird has a new piece of equipment.
Instead of concentrating most of our time on things like navigation and procedures and the radio and those other things, which are all important in a helicopter, we decided to concentrate on those things that are the most difficult to learn, where a pilot spends most of his time burning avgas in the helicopter, and probably some of the most dangerous maneuvers, including hovering, ground maneuvers, and auto rotations.
The training platform is placarded very experimental because they are still working the bugs out of the prototype.
The issue, of course, is that the motions have to be precisely correct, because you hover a helicopter by feeling that you're falling in one direction or another, not by seeing that you're falling. So you spend a lot of time on the visuals, but that doesn't really help you hover. The problem with motion platforms is they're heavy. They have weight, and it takes energy to get them started, and it takes energy to stop them and get them going in the other direction. So we had to come up with a completely new motion system that allowed us really tiny, really precise, fast motions.
The new helicopter device has been in the works for 2 years, and it's geared at saving the student money.
If you can cut a pilot's time to hover in half in a helicopter, you've saved that pilot somewhere between $4,000 to maybe $10,000 in that process.
Ian Twombly, AOPA Live.
Thanks, Ian. Looks like a lot of fun. Well, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and remember, you can also view the program on Roku, iTunes, and YouTube. I'm Tom Haynes. See you next week.